Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get your coffees and teas and come and join me for our channel message for the collectives. We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna have a channel message and we're gonna have story time. Okay, guys. So yeah. How would I say this? I've been actually been seeing like how would I say this? A sign of like peace, renewal, happiness, joy. Okay. And how would I say, when you're in a position of happiness and peace and joy, someone else always in the background. So I'm gonna show you how to balance something out for your highest goods and not giving a fuck about nobody else's emotions behind your peace, your joy, okay? Because somebody really wants you to feel a way. And the way that something's going, it's not going according to your enemy's plans anymore. Let that be that red flag. Let that be that white flag that they throw around. Okay? Because we will not be a doormat to somebody's ignorance. Okay? We just won't. So I'm going to get my coffee. A lot of things that something that was taken from you, somebody's really pissed off. Somebody's doing a whole lot of projection and that shit ain't touching you. They're trying to project on me too. It ain't working. Because somebody's hoping that something worked, but somebody behind the scenes that's acting like that's working with this partner, they're in my energy. It's flawed and it's third party. They're working together, but it's something that one of them is trying to do in my energy. Trying to stay, this man's trying to stay connected. He is. He really is. I can't lie. He's trying to stay in my energy. He's trying to control every aspect, like it's a second marriage. Like he got every right to do what he's doing. Baby, when I tell you, time is up. Some people gonna have to die. People plans was to kill you. For real. They called death on you. And they could have told you die or whatever, but that shit, by me speaking it out, it's known that, how would I say this? It's known in the community of people that was involved in this organized crime to take me out or to take you guys out. These people are caught up. Okay? They're caught up. They're not even marked for jail. They won't go to jail. They won't go to jail for this organized crime. I'm gonna tell you that now. What's gonna happen? They're gonna pass away. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. And some of these law enforcements, they can know that. They can know that. Because they know about the organized crime with your family. See, some of these people collaborated together with your family members. And some of these people falsely arrested you. They falsely accused you. Okay? They put me on probation. Okay, for a misdemeanor, just to control me, but it was to put me under a witness protection program, but still had me paying fees, and made it seem like they were working, something was being worked out for you. That's manipulation. That's manipulation. That's abuse of power. That's breaking spiritual laws, breaking the law. So now that everything is being exposed, someone wants to redirect something. Why is that child screaming like that? And I bet you ain't no child out there. I was wondering what the heck. Because I'm going to look. That wasn't no normal scream. But they're going to the pool. was looking like, where the hell my earring go?
The street was familiar. The same welcome lawns, the same cared for houses.
Okay. So let's get right and hop right into this message. So I was falsely placed under arrest through a lot of law officials. Now I don't know if things could be actually taking place where these people are going to be taken about their seats, out of their pedestals, their high pedestals. And the reason why I say that because they showed me 5 badges. I've only saw 1 badge, and one of the officers' lives got taken. I don't know if this man had anything to do with this case that transpired and happened, but this man lost his life due to one of the organized crimes in the police systems. I don't think that he was a bad person. I don't know. I can't say, but I was accused of being wrongfully treated in an organized crime, and they just threw charges on me. Okay, I was on probation for 2 years. 2 years. Okay, and this was a young man that put me on probation for 2 years. He was a young crook. He was a crook, and this guy, I panicked because they told me a year at first. They told me a year, and I got upset. I started screaming and crying and hollering because, the way I was being treated, the way that they had treated me. And I'm going to explain this, how they treated me. I'm looking out the window, so I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to raise it up a little bit because they can't see me. Okay, there's a family outside. They're at the pool. And they're gonna have a little court patrols walk by, but that's okay. I mean, I'd rather see out than sit here and look at the blinds like I'm looking out, right? Okay, yeah, so due to the situation, there's conflict going on around my community. Okay, and in this community, I lived in a city called Dogwood City. I never really knew that my kids knew that. But the kids are aware, they knew that they lived in Dogwood City. So in this community, it was a couple of people that noticed us. We stood out, but the neighbors was made sure that they gave us problems. Okay. Yeah, the very first time I went to jail out there was all about a neighbor. No charges was pressed on this person. The authorities didn't question this person. Whatever this person said or spoke out on, they took this person's word because there was an inside job that this person was doing. And it had a lot to do with my family members and Floyd Harmon Jr. I never understand or knew how this person was organizing crimes in my life. This person works with law enforcement. Okay. It's about time that my son's getting ready to come home. So I'm seeing where this person's trying to use my child, and I'm not going for it. I'm not y'all. One thing about me and 2 things for sure. I got respect for my children. My children got respect for me and they love me. But I'll be damned if a man come and try to run my household and how my child treats me or fix his mouth to speak to me. It's what I'm not going to allow. So I'm going to set the tone for the ones that's trying to set the tone and run my house outside of my house. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to be a woman about it. I'm not just get up here and do all that hooping, hollering, and going off and da-da-da-da. Because at this point, now I know I really got to take you out of here. Because this is my house. You don't pay no bills over here. You got to get the fuck out of here. You got to get the fuck out of my spiritual home. Period, point blank. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ain't no other way to put it. You got to get the fuck up out of here. So, due to what I experienced, how would I say this? I went through this moment where the people that was living by me was harassing me. They were. They threw, I think it was like around Christmas time. Before my kids even moved into the house, I would say this. I had an experience where someone would come in spiritually and touch my feet. Wake me up. And it was like, you okay? It's all right. Just get up. You got to go to work. That's what I felt. And I was telepathically like, hear that person saying that to me. And it didn't dawn on me that it was my neighbor. It was peace in the home. Okay? It was peace there in the apartment complex. And I said, okay. That's I get up and I go to my restroom. And I always, my bathroom, it was just something about my bathroom when I laid down to go to sleep. I would close the bathroom door somewhat. And I don't know if this person didn't want that light on in the bathroom, or they didn't want me to, they wanted me to expose something to me about the bathroom or something in that nature. But it was something about the bathroom because the way my living room was made, like when you walk in my apartments, you walk right in the living room. When you walk further up, it's a hallway. And that hallway it's like, it's not long, it's not big, it's just a short hallway. And right before you get in the hallway, well, when you go across the hallway, it's the bathroom. And the other parts of the apartment is the bedroom. So it'll be my bedroom to the left, me to the right, and my kids to the left. So one day I was getting up and it seemed like to me like I say the bathroom. But I'm like, what do they mean what they're saying? So it never dawned on me I would just get up and just go to the restroom. Sometimes I go to sleep and I wake up out of my sleep just to go close that bathroom door because the light of the bathroom was just like it was in my face. So I wasn't understanding. I really wasn't. So as time went on, this man would wake me up out of my sleep every night. But mind you guys, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who this person was. So come to find out, this man ended up throwing feces and food at my door. But it took a minute before we got there. What ended up happening was my son came home. My children came home from foster care. Son was sitting down in the living room playing on his DS. He flew the picture off the wall. And it hit my son on the hand. And I said, damn, baby, you all right? I watched the whole thing. And he was just being a kid. Sitting there playing on his game. He still played on the game. He didn't get up to get the picture or nothing. He was in the game. And I got up and we were getting ready to leave. I got up and put the picture back on the wall. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck happened? Like, you know what I mean? So I brushed it off. I continued to go about my day. And I began to pray in my house, my apartment. I wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning praying, blessing my children in the middle of the night. Sometimes it will be a moment where I would never sleep in my living room. It was to the point where this person was in their house. How would I say this? I can't say in their house because I don't want to skip the parts, because then you'll be like, well, how you know this? How you know that? And I don't want to make it seem like, you know, I'm putting the what happened. So as time went on, y'all, one night we was in the living room. Me and my kids, we slept in the living room and watched movies. It was snowing outside, so we cuddled up in the living room watching movies. On the phone, on the tablet, whatever. The kids playing, talking, whatever. And all of a sudden, we just hear shit just flying at our back door. Shit just a boom, boom, boom. I told my kids, I said, lay down. Lay down. Y'all all right? You okay? Lay down. I said, let them have fun. Let them enjoy. That was my words. That was my direct words. And when they got done, I called the police. They did not show up. They did not come to my house. The next day, I called the police. They came early that morning. And when they came, they were looking at the back patio. I could see the lady. I see the Mexican lady. She wasn't all that short, but she had some height on her. She was kind of thick. And I'm looking at her, and she's looking at the back patio. She's looking at it. She see all that shit on the back patio. Doo-doo, tomato sauce, all kind of shit that they threw at that back door. Food. And I told them what happened. I told them it was my neighbors, which you can tell. You could tell. Nobody can throw anything that far up. You can't. You can't. I stayed upstairs and I had a whole balcony. So if anything was to come over that balcony, it would hit those gates at the front of my balcony. Nothing was known there. It was like somebody literally crossed. Like you can literally cross over my gate to his gate and stand there on my patio and just throw the food. And it was a bucket of shit. I never forget. It was like a clear container full of shit. It was a water container. It was full of shit. And they threw that shit on my back patio. It hit my garbage can top. I had bought a big garbage can top. I went out, before I went outside to clean up, I ended up calling police. I took pictures of it actually too. And I ended sending it to one of my friends, the Florida guy. And I said, you gonna help me or whatever. But before I get out to all of that, because it was more than one time that this shit transpired and happened. So I called the police. I told the police what happened. They said, well, you don't have any proof or evidence at this point. You're just accusing this person, this, then the third. They made it like as to say I was wrong. I lied. It's food there, but you don't even know who did it. And you ain't got no evidence on who did it. And you can't just say that this person did it. They knocked on his door, but he never answered. He would never acknowledge the authorities. The authorities would never put a force to acknowledging that man. They did. They did. And they would knock on his door and they would say, police. Such a police. And they would say, if you don't open this door, we're gonna write you a citation for a harassment. They didn't say things like that. Like that's the law. You can do that. You can file harassment. You can have the police help you file charges for harassing somebody. Racially profiling somebody. Okay? And none of that came out of these people's mouths. So I ended up getting a camera. When I got a camera on my door, that man took my camera. Oh yeah, he did. Oh yeah. During the process of all of this, the landlord, I called the landlord. I made reports to the landlord. I left her messages. She would never be in the office. So I know if anywhere that I had moved that I was like, I would never live somewhere where there's no assistance. It's no assistance because I lived in an apartment where I would constantly call the office for certain things that would go wrong in my apartment, like if something broke or if something was like out of reach. Like I didn't have a key to the back door of my apartment, but it was a lock there and I can lock it. And the man I didn't know how these people was getting in my apartment. All my kids' Christmas gifts came up missing. All of them. All my kids' Christmas gifts came up missing. I bought those. They watched me buy them. And not watch me buy, but they watched me come home. And it was like, I remember the landlord and some other guy, I believe it was the maintenance guy, because they always walk together checking the property when she do come on that property. She was like, oh, you're shopping early, and looking all in my bag. I said, yeah, I'm doing this for my children. And I wrapped my gifts up. I put the gifts up. My kids come home, one day, and one of my kids' Christmas gifts gone. And I call the police. I make a report. My son's phone come up missing, an iPhone. This shit is not expensive. I mean, not cheap. These things are expensive. So I call. We up there looking for the phone, y'all. The phone. We got y'all. We got the tracker device on the phone. Like, we could track and locate the phone. We up in the house. The police is in the house. They're like asking my sons, "Where's the phone at?" And we're like, it's right here. It's the address. The phone right here. It was like, "Look, baby," we're like, "it gotta be in this house." The man next door had the phone the whole fucking time. He was up being his phone in the living room, right by the wall. Yeah, he did that. He put that motherfucker right by the wall. Had us searching that whole area in the couches and shit to see if the phone was there. The phone was never there. He had it in his unit. He had it in his apartment the whole time. And we in the apartment looking for the phone. The police are saying, well, if you find it, this, then, the third. And I feel like the police kind of just, I ain't gonna say they knew, but they knew that it was a suspicious, because the reports were always be about the neighbor. But it was an inside job. It was an inside job. That's why I say I would never live in an apartment. Never. You can't never pay me. That's why I always wanted to stay upstairs, because I feel more secure upstairs. See, if you come to my house and throw shit at my door or throw shit on the ground, like, I know exactly who did it. You got me in the open where people can target me. Because if I'm upstairs, it ain't no too many fingers I can point at. See what I'm saying? So I lived upstairs in this apartment, but we knew who was the target. We knew who was targeting us. Okay? We knew the other lady wasn't targeting us because she had a whole family and children. So at the end of the day, the more the story of the situation is that I was being racially profiled, and I was called. One day I was leaving out my home. It's another situation that happened where I was leaving out my home, and I can hear an old man, and I'm on Bigo Live. I remember having a Bigo account, and me and my children are leaving. I'm bringing my kids to the doctor's appointments. And he said to me, "Fuck you, I'll kill you, you fucking nigger bitch. Fuck you, you nigger, I'll fucking kill you, you fucking nigger bitch." And everybody on my live was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Everybody just all of a sudden was like, something's not right. Like, no. People started talking. People really started checking in on my channel. People really started, my views went up on that Bigo channel that I had. And people was like, "You need to call the police. Like, that's not normal. Da da da." And there was like, "Let us see." So I turned around and I let them see. They can see his apartment door open. And I'm telling them in the video, I'm like, "Hey, my apartment is next door to this guy that said this." And I said, "I don't have time for that, y'all. I have to take care of my children. I mean, an open CPS case is going on." And they were like, "Well, you need to call the caseworkers and tell them." I told them or whatever, what was going on or what was transpiring. And basically it was like, they can nothing that they can do. I need to talk to the property manager about that. Okay. So when push came to shove, I kept going. I never acknowledged the man. I never really too much try to say nothing to the guy, because I got kids. Like, your life don't evolve around me. I don't care if we're neighbors or not. Like, I'm not a conversational person, and I'm not supposed to just keep going at you because you going at me. I'm just didn't. So as time went on, y'all, I remember one night I went to a barber shop to get my son's haircut. I ran into this guy. I went to the barber shop and got my kid's haircut. The guy said I needed to pay a certain amount. I was like, "Okay, I'll be right back. I want my kid's haircut." I think they were starting school or something like that. And I just wanted my kids to be nice, look nice. So the guy that cut my son's hair, I guess he started taking care of me. He had took me to his office and was talking to me, and he was like, "Something's not right." He was like, "Something ain't right." And he was like, "Come holler at me in my office." And I went to talk to him in his office, and he asked me what was going on. I told him, man, I gave him the honest truth. I told him what was going on. And I told him about the harassment. I told him that it was just me and my sons, da-da-da. And I asked him, I said, "You know where I can get a gun?" And he was like, you might want to go to the police. I said, man, look, I did everything. I said, I'm a woman. I need protection. And he was like, well, I know people that know people. I'll put the word out to look out for you, watch over you, da-da-da. He screwed me over too. I don't know. Something went on where a guy and a kid was in his car. And me and my sons was in the my kids was in there getting a haircut. I'm outside. This man had cut my son's hair in a V shape. And I guess, he targeted my son to be molested or raped or something happened. And my son was hurt. My son was deeply hurt. And one day, my son asked me, Mama, why you let people do us like this? And I said, what you talking about, baby? What do you mean? I'm not knowing what's really going on in the school. But I started to go to the school and I started to ask to see my kids. They wouldn't let me go in there and see my children. So at that point, I started looking for another school. They kept telling me you can't change the kids' school because it's out of the diction, the jurisdiction. I'm like, no, there's a way. If I can transport my children to these schools, I can change my kids' school. They were trying to run my life. They were trying to control it. And then it come to push the shove, y'all. I would bring my kids to school early in the morning. We stay right up the street. School open at 7 something. I'm bringing them early where they can eat breakfast. Y'all, it got so bad to the point where I had to start bringing them lunch and breakfast to school. And they had to eat the breakfast at home. They wasn't serving breakfast. And they wasn't part of BISD districts. Meaning that they didn't have to serve breakfast. If they served breakfast, that was because they felt like it. And anybody knows for kids to eat breakfast in the morning time, that's an important meal. But I will always look like when you first arrive into the school, it's a window. And they always open the window. And in the window, I would look through the window. I say, y'all ain't getting no breakfast? They was like, Mama, they don't serve breakfast here. I asked the lady, I said, hey, they don't give them kids breakfast? She said, no, ma'am. She said they don't have to. It's out of BSD district. Like it's a schools that you can roll your kids into that's out of the BSD district, meaning that they can break rules and regulations. They don't have to go by the rules and regulations. They can run their own school. And that's what was going on. When you're new in the communities, you don't know these things. But when you start asking questions and get information, these things start to make sense. So, after that moment that happened, that transpired, I end up having my children at that school or whatnot or what have you. So something happened. I didn't know what happened, but it was a lady that I got in contact with. And so-called say, I started conversating with her, telling her what was going on a little bit here and there. And, she'll kind of keep me in like praying more. And how I met this other lady, y'all, it's going to be weird. I believe in the process of me living at that apartment, what other place when I was living at that apartment? Nope. There was first apartment that I moved at from Decatur. I met this guy, a Jamaican, and the Jamaican gave me his number to one of his lady friends that he used to deal with, that he was, cool with. She was very talented. She knew how to do shirts, press on shirts. She was very talented. They used to work together in MHMR program services. Okay. So he's telling me that he used to be good with kids. He used to help kids, this, that, and the third. And he said he got a really good friend that he think that I need to talk to, this, that, and the third. And she was like, no, not this one. No, you're not to touch this one. And I'm like, why are you telling me that he can't touch me? Like, what the heck? Like, women don't talk like that. So I'm saying, like, what do you mean? She was like, no, you don't need to talk to him. You need to leave him alone. She said, not this one. She said, it's something about you. She said, I looked at you and I knew you something spiritual about you. And as time went on, we started getting close and talking. And she was just like basically, telling me that he's in a biker club, this, that, and the third. And, like they get girls to screw them over. They make girls pay for stuff. They make girls do stuff for them, and they know it ain't right. Like, they make them pay for sex. They make them do all kinds of stuff. I'm like, what? Like, oh hell no, not me. Wrong one. I need help. Like, no. So it went from that to me actually having the moments where I started to go to his house. I'm like, before I go to his house, I'm like, you got gas? Like, I started speaking out, like, you're not about to treat me like what this woman's saying. That's a dragonfly sitting right on that stair. I mean, not the stair, but the sidewalk, looking right over here at me. It's a green one.